Hi guys, this is Edna. Welcome to my channel. So following the video that I did a few weeks ago regarding women going back to hair relaxers, I decided to kind of dive a little bit onto that subject to kind of understand why is it that black women specifically, are trying to make this change. I truly believe that one of the reasons could be because, obviously maintenance. Natural hair products are incredibly expensive. The availability of these products depends a lot on which country you live in. There is a certain availability, but it changes from city to city. Some cities you're going to have particular shops to sell it. Some other cities you're not going to have it. The problem with some of these products is that they are extremely expensive regardless of where you find it. It is very expensive, especially if you're trying to buy it from brands that are more like premium, that have like better compositions, not too many toxins, because this is also something that is not really discussed when we are talking about these kind of products. If we just go a few years back, when we were making this movement from using hair relaxers to then deciding to use our natural hair, some brands started to kind of notice this trend, and I think they started to realize that women from the black community, not just the black community but Latinos as well, we spend a lot of money on hair products and just beauty in general. I think that the beauty market kind of ignored us for a lot of years, let's be honest. I still feel that they ignore us, to be honest. But I could just collect some data. This is obviously data from the United States because I didn't find anything in Europe. The black hair market, it makes an estimated $2.51 billion only in the US, and black women spend 9 times more on ethnic products than non-black consumers. So it's very clear this industry is very lucrative and very high in demand. Even if we were to go back to relaxers, I don't think it would make a big change. When I go and get my hair straight, which is not very often, I find it incredibly expensive. Then again, I have a lot of hair, so I understand it takes time and effort to get it fully straight. But to think that I'm probably spending more than like $100 just to get my hair straight. I can only imagine people that go and add extensions, people that do like special treatments, special masks. I can only imagine how much it is. Maybe I just don't like to spend as much on hair. I rather spend on the products than going to the hairdresser. But yes, coming back to what we were discussing, I found this graph. That kind of shows us a little bit black hair care market is going to grow. So it's roughly expected to grow up to $4.9 billion by 2033. I will put the graph here so that you can see. If you notice, there is still a huge demand for like shampoos, conditioners, hair cares. I can see the hair serum is starting to, the interest in that is growing a lot. But it's interesting because I would have expected to see a little bit more data on, for example, leave-in and moisturizers, which is something that we use a lot. Shampoo, definitely you find it anywhere. You can buy from any other brand really, and yeah, there is still a huge demand for this. It feels like it's just mimicking what already is. Yes, there is a huge demand for shampoo and conditioners in general. That's what you really see when you go to the shop, is most of what we see. You can go to a supermarket here in UK, that's literally what you see. So regular people, they go and get their groceries and they can get their favorite shampoo and conditioner. While you can do that, but then at the same time, you need to find extra time to go to specific shops to be able to find things. So the market is growing, but I feel there's still not enough brands being promoted on specific retailers. I feel that there's a lot being missing, but we will get back to that. So this article, they say, despite the positive momentum in the black hair market, challenges persist, notably in the form of limited accessibility and higher costs associated with these specialized products. Many consumers, particularly those in rural or underserved urban areas find it difficult to access products tailored to Black hair needs. Exactly, we are going back to what I was discussing previously. These higher costs apparently are attributed to the use of premium natural ingredients and the smaller scale of production compared to mainstream hair care. What I've noticed as well is that larger retailers are buying these small black-owned brands, mostly the ones based in the United States, which is a little bit conflicting because you don't know what they're going to do with it. They may decide to make change to the formula, sometimes not to make it cheap, not only cheaper to produce, but once you go from a small brand to then being bought by a big retailer, these larger retailers, they need to follow not only the guidelines but kind of check what is safe and what's not. Sometimes when we think, oh, something in this formula has been changed, you can feel it. Sometimes that was needed, especially if it's a brand that is going to be sold in Europe in comparison to how it's sold in the United States. When a brand expands to a completely different continent, there are certain rules that they have to follow in order to be able to have their products being sold in those markets. So sometimes I'm not really sure if the change is good or if the change is bad. It's not very clear, and it's not something this openly, obviously it's not openly discussed, so we don't really know what to expect. So when Meow's CEO Monique Rodriguez announced that it would be acquired by P&G in January 2023, Black consumers were worried that the company would change the formula of their products to appeal to a wider audience. So the same happened when Shea Moisture faced online backlash in April 2017, 3 months after they were acquired from Unilever for this controversial hair care ad. Because of this ad, this kind of left some questions on people's mind, because people were thinking, so how can they truly understand the challenges of a Black woman faces with their natural hair texture if they don't really respect how the mission of the brand in the first place? And also on this ad in particular, you don't have representation for Black women with diverse kinky or very curly types. It was only one type of hair, and then the focus was changed to other women that also have curly hair. Actually, did you guys knew that SIM was founded by a Pakistani person? I didn't know. I feel so ignorant. So there's another brand called Brigio. So I never used, so I don't really know this brand. So this brand was founded by Nancy Twine, and the brand it's now owned by Wella Company. Wella or Vella? Wella Company. So in a statement, Nancy says, it's unfortunate that a lot of Black-owned brands get backlash when they sell, because it's one of the few arenas where you see that dynamic. She continues by saying, you see tech founders raise money, sell companies, and get cover stories in magazines. I think there is a lot of upset about the fact that you can't really call the company that you've been supporting Black-owned anymore. A lot of businesses are created and sold. We don't know how much it was costing Nancy Brigio. We don't know how much was costing Nancy and her investors to keep Briogeo alive. It is very normal for brands to be bought, especially when they are successful. We can't put certain rules on Black-owned brands when we don't really establish many rules when other beauty brands are sold to these same huge retailers. It's something very complicated to understand, because at the end of the day, if Nancy managed to sell her brand, and whatever profit she got, she can probably reinvest, and hopefully reinvests in the Black community, support other founders that probably did not have the same quantity of available investors or even interested investors to put some money and then push their brand to go forwards. So this is I find this a topic that is very hard to discuss, the world of black entrepreneurs at the moment. So we have another case of a black owned brand. This is Shutter, so whose cosmetic company went viral and later expanded through a partnership with Ultra Beauty in 2019. So she says, many black owned brands that got taken into retail are actually struggling on the back end. They are struggling to scale. They are struggling to get investments to operate in the ways retailers want them to, and also not getting the leeway of time to adjust. It's hard to say because there is not that many investors probably interested in these kind of brands, because it is a niche market. As much as we spend so much on beauty, it is a niche market, and unfortunately, for a long time, the black community did not have the same kind of power to buy things as we have nowadays. I think nowadays you can see people from the black community, like working in banks, modeling, acting. You can see, even actors, they build their own entertainment company these days. So we have more power to spend nowadays, but I think that the industry is still being quite slow in adjusting to that, and it's kind of making us, at least for me, it's making me very stressed. I complain every day when I go to a supermarket and I cannot find a leave-in. It's literally what I need at times. I just need a bloody leave-in that works, or I just need a gel that does its own job. And then because I consume so much of Brazilian content, and the quantity of products that these people have available in their country makes me so jealous. Even content creators from the United States, sometimes they go to, I see videos where they are going to Walmart? Yeah, when they go to their superstores, and I can see this availability of products. I wish I could just buy regular hair products when I go get my groceries. I cannot. I need to take extra time to go to a store called Boots or to go to a Superdrug, and hopefully they have something in there, and hopefully they have some promotion, because the products are so expensive. So expensive. It's crazy for me to think that the price of a hair product, sometimes just a leave-in, is the same price of a meal on a restaurant. It's like, am I choosing my hair over eating? It's ridiculous. To kind of understand how is the market in UK, I found this article on Vice where they interviewed black-owned Afro hair shop. So this is owned by Brown Pinnock, and this shop is in southeast London. She says that black women in UK are used to the surreal experience of asking for advice on the best type of edge control from a Bangladeshi man. While official figures on the ethnic background of black hair shop owners are not available, it's widely thought that almost all Afro hair shops in the country are owned by South Asian men. It's very odd because it feels that we are progressing, as in there's a huge availability of products for our type of hair, but the prices and the availability of these actual products in different countries, different cities, it changes so much. So a lot of us can have a completely different experience with our hair, mostly based on where we live, which is still like unfair. As in, you see shampoos everywhere, you can buy a shampoo anywhere. Why shouldn't you be able to buy your gel or your leave-ins at the same shops? I find it very strange. This does not apply only to hair products. I've noticed that, for example, if you're looking for products for oily skin types, which is a very common type for us within the black community. I know some of us probably have much drier skin, but it's very common for us to have oily skin. If you're looking for a moisturizer for oily skin, like, I wish you all the best, because there's not that many of them, and the few that you find, again, is incredibly expensive. So it's expensive to sustain your beauty these days. It's insane. I find it difficult. I don't want to judge women that go back to relaxers. I just think that the alternative, it's not ideal. Mostly because, I don't know, there is no enough data available to make me feel that hair relaxers are not going to damage our health. This is the only problem I have. But then if you try to just be natural and use all these different products to kind of help you manage your hair, and these products are extremely expensive, and with the cost of living that we are having now, you kind of had to choose what's your priority. I completely understand if people are just like, oh, I can't be bothered, I'm just going to relax my hair or just get it straight and just facilitate my life. I completely get it. So just leave your comments on the comment section below. Please don't forget to like this video, it's really helpful, and hopefully I see you next time. Bye.